let's talk about Steve fucking Bruce. First of all, let's talk about the lineup for today's must-win game against West Brom. In goal, Dubravka, fair enough. Struggled a little bit at one point in the last game, but made up for it at the end of the match, and we all know how much we love him. Kraft, don't really have another option there. I mean, I would probably prefer to see Murphy in the right back position because Kraft is just shite, but hey-ho. Lascelles, again, we don't really have that many options in centre-back that are fit, but not for me. Clark, decent option in centre-back, always puts a massive shift in. Dummett, I like Lewis. Lewis is obviously coming into his own. He's not had the best season so far, but he's young. He's got a lot of potential. We need to be sticking with him, really. I don't know if anything's happened in the dressing room with him, but Dummett is not quick enough at left back, so I'm not sure how he's going to get up and down the pitch. Hayden, always have to stick with Hayden. He's definitely one of the best players. Shelby had a really good game in last week. Still, he's too inconsistent for me. He's not good. We know for a fact he's probably not going to put a shift in today. Willock, excited to see Willock. Hopefully he can show more of what he showed in the first game he played for us. Hendrick on the fucking right. Jeff Hendrick on the fucking right. Really? That's a red card waiting to happen already. He's slow as fuck. Can't pass a ball. The worst, hands down the worst player other than Kraft that we have at have in the team. How is he getting ahead of Murphy? For fuck's sake. Ryan Fraser, excited to see him as well. Hopefully he can offer a lot of that pace that we've been seeing. He's absolutely damaged at crossing the ball as well. So hopefully he can get us an assist or two. Joe Linton, there we go. That's the tweet, isn't it? Fucking Joe Linton up on his own again. Where are the goals coming from today, guys? Why is our bench better than our starting lineup? We've got Murphy, we've got Fernandez. Obviously, Fernandez is probably not fit enough to start. We've got Gale, better option than Joe Linton, I think. Matt Ritchie, I mean, he's obviously not going to get played after what's happened this week. So I'm not even sure why he's on the bench. To be fair, he would be a better left-back option than Paul Dummett. Andy Carroll, I heard before the game started that Andy Carroll was going to be starting today. I think he would be a better option than Joe Linton. Second of all, Steve Bruce is a man. He's supposedly this great man manager. Yet all we've been hearing for the last 18 months is about massive bust-ups he's been having with players and staff in the fucking dressing room and on the training pitch. Great man manager. So let's go back to last season when he was supposedly having this big bust-up with fucking ASM. And ASM wasn't wanting to play for him. And then ASM came out and obviously said that he denied it, that was a lie. But it kind of makes you think now, doesn't it? If all this is coming out now about Richie and how they've been having massive arguments and pushing each other about and fucking calling each other names and stuff, maybe that did happen with ASM. Maybe, as he said specifically in his fucking press conference, this happens up and down the country every single week. Maybe he did actually have a massive row with ASM. The next thing I want to talk about is his fucking football tactics, management, whatever you want to call it. I know he doesn't like to use the fucking term tactics, but let's talk about it. He's had what, over 700 games? He's been a player and a manager for longer than most of us have been alive. So surely some experience there. Yet, going across the 2 seasons that he's been in charge, you notice we started playing 5 at the back against every single fucking team, whether that be Manchester City or fucking Sheffield United. And it obviously wasn't working. It's not like we were more solid at the back. We were conceding goals left, right and centre. And this season, we've got one of the worst goal differences in the league. So how does that work out? I mean, since Graham Jones has come in, fair enough, we've changed our style. We're going a lot more attacking. We're not conceding as many goals as we were when we were 5 at the back. So how does that make sense? If he's a great defender and he's been a fucking manager for years, then why isn't he coaching defending? Why isn't that much better under us? What? I don't understand. Now on to Graham Jones. So Steve Bruce has been at the club nearly 2 years. For the first 18 months of his tenure here, he set the team out 5 at the back, playing like shit. It was an absolute travesty for most games. Hated watching them. Can't pass a ball for shit. Can't defend. Concede goals left, right and centre. Can't score. Just miserable, horrible football to watch. But anyway, ever since Graham Jones came in, obviously straight away he made a massive impression, massive change against Everton. It looks like we want to score goals. He's obviously galvanised the squad massively. And I remember thinking, when Graham Jones was on the touchline that day, he's fucking clapping the players on, giving them instructions, fucking cheering them on and all that. When does Steve Bruce ever do that? And I've also tweeted several times while I'm watching the game, screenshots of Bruce just on the touchline, miserable as fuck. And then Graham Jones fucking giving the players a pat on the back, pointing directions and stuff, pointing fucking instructions at them. And then the next game that we had, he was fucking in the stands. I don't feel like any of us fans really are ever going to know whether that was because Bruce got in a huff or not. Because obviously, none of us knew that these fights happened every fucking week. So there must be loads of stuff that's going on behind the scenes that we're never going to know about. So I think he did get in a huff and tell him to fuck off in the stands. But anyway, ever since he came, we have been playing much better football. We've been playing more expansive football. We've learned how to pass 4 yards. We've learned how to fucking get up the pitch. There seems to be more players up in the box every time we're playing, which is a start to getting a goal, isn't it? Another thing I want to point out is the Longstaff brothers. Sean and Matty, what the fuck's happened to them? Where have they disappeared to? They've not played in ages. Matty got his contract renewed last season, hasn't really played since then. Sean, his contract's due for renewal. Both had glistening fucking starts to their careers. Sean was magnificent under Rafa, scoring worldies. Matty was magnificent last season, again scoring absolute worldies. And then they've dropped off the face of the earth. Sean's on the bench today. I bet £100 he doesn't get fucking put in. He doesn't get subbed on. Was Bruce just alienating all the young players and all the best players at the fucking squad, is he? All the longest serving. Richie, ASM. Miggy looked down and out for a bit, didn't he? At the start of the season, he looked really down and sad. That was no doubt Bruce's influence. But these young players like Sean and Matty, they could have been, world beaters. We just need to play them more. Matty especially, granted, Sean was shit at the start of the season, but he's just come back from a long-term injury, so Bruce really needs to sort his act out and start playing these youngsters, because they're the only ones that are going to really fucking, show loyalty and want to stay. God knows how the likes of fucking Jeff Hendrick get started over them. And don't get me started on Shelvey. 1 in every 10 games he has a decent game. And if you're breaking that down by numbers, if he's playing 1 good pass every 10 games where he's having 10, 15 passes, your average Joe like me and you could fucking do that. I could kick a fucking ball in every once in a while if the wind's blowing the right way. It would actually get to the person that I wanted it to. He's shit. Why does he keep getting picked, man? I recently tweeted that I thought Steve Bruce was like a fucking stepdad that you and your siblings all hated. But your mum didn't want to get rid of him because he was the only option. He was the only option that you had for a stepdad. Someone to help with the kids. That's kind of what like what Steve Bruce is at the minute, isn't it? Nobody fucking wants him there. But we can't get rid of him because the owner doesn't want to get rid of him because it's going to cost too much fucking money. Another thing that really winds me up is Steve and his press conferences. First of all, how he's always butting in halfway into a question being asked. Imagine just having a chat with your mate and they're asking you a question, and then halfway into the question you just butt in with an answer that you think is right, obviously well rehearsed. Obviously he's got a little list or a long list of answers to questions that might happen. Fucking winds me right up. And imagine being one of the reporters as well. How annoyed must they get? How does he have so many friends in the media? Because he's just so fucking rude. And another thing, when he's in his press conferences, supposed to be talking about, you know, team news and fucking what to expect in the game. And he spends 90% of his fucking press conference talking about how amazing the other team are, whether that be Man City or fucking Sheffield United, and saying how we have to be at our best to get anything. How's that meant to fucking excite the players? How's that meant to get the players raring to go for the game? It just make them nervous. Pressure must be really high on them when he's talking about how we're going to have to be at our best to get anything against Sheffield United, and then he's putting them out and setting them out not to score goals. So they must feel like shit as well. For fuck's sake. So just to finish off this video, and I'm sure I'm speaking for every fan across the world when I say, Bruce, your time's been and gone, mate. It's time to pack your bags. It's time to hang up your coaching badges and just get the fuck out of our club. You're not good enough. If you want to stay in the game, then by all means go back down to the Championship or League One. But you're not right for us. You're not right for our club. Nobody wants you here. You claim to love the club, but we all know that's a lie. Or you would have left ages ago. Nothing good is going to come of you staying here. Nothing. Alright? Take care, everyone.